In this video, I'm going to show you the differences between different motherboards. For instance, the branded motherboard like Dell, HP, Lenovo, or something else against maybe Asus, Gigabyte, and other brands. So one is something that was made is specifically, for a specific computer, and the other ones that are, like universal that you can connect and you can install in any computer. So let's change the monitor so the way you can see. So here I have a few motherboards, as you can see. So I'm going to show you the main differences. So for instance, these are old motherboards that are not working or very old. So I always remember when you are working with motherboards, try to discharge yourself, touch something that is made of metal that will be grounded, otherwise the static will damage your motherboard. Or use gloves, like I mentioned before in my other videos. So here, for instance, I have this motherboard. I think this comes from Lenovo, and you're going to see a few differences. For instance, here, as you can see here, you have this is the connector for the power, and here, for instance, you have another connector that is you need some type of adapter to use the front panel. For instance, the reset, the power, the LED, and everything. As you can see, you need an adapter from this specific plug that you have here. And here, as you can see, here you have another one like that. So basically, if you're going to, trying to replace the motherboard, let's say that you have a new computer that came from a customer and you want to replace the motherboard is not working or anything like that, and you have the old power supply, you're not going to be able to replace it easily. I mean, the new motherboard, because for instance, the new motherboard that comes, the power connector is way wider than the other ones, and few other things like that, like I mentioned before. For instance, the front panel, the plug will be different, so that will be another difficulty that you're going to have if you want to connect everything to the motherboard, to the computer, the computer case, and you're not going to be able to do it. So that is one of the main things. Usually with a RAM and the CPU, you're not going to have any issue. You can remove the, let's say, Intel or AMD, and you can put it in another motherboard that it has the same socket, no problem. The same thing with the RAM. But the main thing will be the power connector, and the other thing, like I said before, with the front panel of the computer case. For instance, if you see here, I'm going to show you now like a random power supply, so that way you can see. Here we have a power supply. In this case, is a Sego step. It doesn't matter. It could be a generic one. It doesn't matter. So here we have all the connectors, so that way we can hook this up. For instance, here I have the power for the motherboard. As you can see, I can hook it up just fine. You see, if it just fine, like I said before. But if you try to do the same thing, you remove it from here and you try to hook it up here, you see the difference is way bigger or wider with this one, so you're not going to be able to hook it up. And also sometimes this port that you have the extra for the extra power, sometimes that is normal and you can hook up the other ones, but here you see you have this and you have these two here. And in this case, like regular motherboards, you're going to have the two main connectors. This one is the main one, and this is for the secondary power. If you have like a very old motherboard, usually you don't have this. You have this by itself, and that's it. And as you can see, this is an Asus motherboard, very standard motherboard, and also the front panel usually is here in this area, and you're going to be able to hook up everything. The same thing with the USB ports and everything. If you have a computer case that came, from HP, Dell, or anything like that, usually sometimes they have the same connector that you see here, but sometimes they have a different connector and you're not going to be able to utilize it. So that is another thing. And here I'm going to show you something else, so that way you can see. Here we have another computer power supply. So for instance, this is for Octominer, is like their own brand, and this is for mining. But as you can see here, all the connectors that you're going to see here, they are not the standard connectors, you know, for the motherboard. So as you can see, also I have a few motherboards of them, and they have their own proprietary connector, and that will be the main issue. Everything else looks kind of the same. Sometimes, you know, you're going to get maybe a little bit shorter, longer, or anything like that with regular computers. And here I have another one. This is the same issue. You see, you have this is from another Lenovo. So we have a little one, another little connector here, another one here, and I think the front panel looks like standard. I think is here, but the main thing will be the power supply. And then I have another one here. This is a brand new one. For instance, this is a very old. I mean, the motherboard is new, but the socket is old. For all Intels, I think it's 1150 or something like that. So as you can see, you can hook up the regular power cable. You see, it will fit just fine. And then you have the extra one here, and that's it. This is like a mini motherboard, as you can see here, but it works. So always you can get, sometimes I get them on Amazon, like a very old motherboards, even if they're not well known. For instance, this is, it came like this in this brown box, like you see here, and that's it. So I didn't use it. I bought 2 or 3 different motherboards because I had the computer, the customer's computer. I didn't know if I was going to have some issues, so I choose a few motherboards. And as you can see here, you have the USB, and then here you have the front, you know, the connector for the front panel. Easily, everything is standard, and you should not have any issue with this. As you can see here we have the Octominer motherboard, and I tested this one long time ago, and it works. But as you can see here, it's like very long. So this is so the way you can hook up like 8 video cards here. Here you have instead of having, you know, the regular RAM, as you can see here, for the motherboard, that it could be, you know, DDR1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever is in the future. So you see, you can hook this up here. So it comes with its own. It's not proprietary RAM, but this is the one that you can find in the laptops. So as you can see here, we can remove this. This is the RAM. And you can connect only one. That's it. There we go. So basically, you can connect all the video cards here. And if you're wondering, okay, how do I hook up this motherboard? Where is the power for the motherboard? So as you can see, is here. So as you can see, they have their own proprietary connector. So basically, you're not going to be able to hook up this connector, you know, anywhere. There is no place for this, but that is the main difference between, you know, like the HP, Lenovo, or something else. They have their own design, and they are all different. So in this case, for instance, you cannot even replace I think this is just for the front, for the reset and power, and that's it. So that is all you get with this, and those are the main differences. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Remember, if you want to keep learning about how to become a computer technician, go to the playlist. I have all my classes over there. And if you want to leave your comment or question on the bottom of this video, do it as well. Thank you for watching. See you next time.